All right, Mike. Well, I appreciate you carving time out to share your feedback and thoughts and working with government frameworks for the last year. I just wanted to go through some questions and just kind of get your feedback as we plant our flag and expand throughout the state of Nevada and of course other states throughout the U.S. and just give some real life experience and feedback to others that may be considering leveraging Farmer for their city or their county. So, if you wouldn't mind, could you just introduce yourself and share your role with Clark County?
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name is Mike Green. I'm an operations administrator for digital services in Clark County, Nevada. And my team manages all the projects for digital services. And we got involved with Farmer, like you said, like about a year and a half ago, when departments approached us with a lot of paper-based manual processes, and we were looking for a solution that can help get us to a digital age or to the next step of a digital transformation. And for us, government frameworks made sense using the Farmer platform, because in some cases we had existing paper processes that we've used for years because that's all we had at that point in time. And in some cases they didn't have a process at all, and so we had to develop a digital process at the same time as instead of people picking up phones and taking calls or people residents coming into the office, we were able to give them a platform and a workflow behind the scenes to help save time and automate processes.
So, can you share a couple of the initial workflows that we started with Clark County?
Sure. The first one that we worked with was with our family services department, and at that time they had an existing process, and it was essentially it was a form that people filled out online, but all the form did was send that information to an email where it was then had to be manually transcribed to do any kind of work or processing with. So what we did with the Farmer platform is digitize that form so it made more logical sense for the residents, as well as put workflows behind it. So when they submitted the form, it automatically went to the people that were processing it. They didn't have to manually enter in all that data anymore. It was all just kind of fed through a workflow and approvals.
Got it. How would you describe that rollout experience?
It was very. I was surprised. I shouldn't say surprisingly, but it was really smooth. The government frameworks team, they kind of held the department's hand through the process. They asked the right questions, getting all of the appropriate information and the requirements that needed to be there for this eligibility form. And the technical team was very knowledgeable. They knew what the platform and could do and how we could adapt this form that they had in this process to like a digital staged process.
And then memory serves, can you recall a specific time or moment where you thought to yourself, yeah, this was the right decision?
I think it really came together for us, for me anyway, when I saw our team, the family services department doing their testing of the form. And yes, there was always like kind of like challenges, and then we had to kind of go back and adjust the form here and there. But by the end of the testing process, the department could see what was going on, and they got the vision at that point, and they're like, and they were very happy with it. We've heard nothing but good reviews. And then on the government framework side, any changes that we've needed during that testing process, they were able to absorb those and get those in place very quickly, and then we were able to retest, and then the final product went live pretty quickly, and everybody's been happy so far. As far
Awesome. I appreciate that. And then, would you say from like a compliance, transparency, or service delivery, would you say that there's, um, a clear improvement in comparison to prior to working with GFW?
Absolutely. They've taken steps where they're literally, have an email on one screen and they're like manually typing things, or maybe they print things out and then they like physically walk it to someone else who then has to transcribe it, to like an automated workflow. So I mean the time savings alone from that is, I don't know how I can put a number on it, but I would say,
You had to guess. What
if
do
I
you
had
think
to
that,
guess,
like, how many hours on a monthly basis, man hours, people hours in the course of a month would you say are being saved for the county off the top of your head?
I would say there are at least 50% time savings on their part, at least.
Just
That's
on
like
that one workflow.
just on that one workflow, correct?
Good. And then how would you envision farmer um, playing a role in the county's long-term digital strategy?
So we know that there are still several departments using paper processes. I used to work in a department myself before I came to digital services, and I know of several, paper processes that they were still working on. And so I'm always trying to look for those departments, and when I see them, I asking questions like, "Would you be interested? What's your volume look like? How can we, bring this in and start this project for you?" And we've, since the launch of the family services and the sports and special events form, we've already got three more that in kind of in the pipeline at this point.
Now, every once in a while, when we're doing outreach, we'll talk to it could be a clerk's office, it could be Public Works, and what we find is folks are trying to think to themselves of what department or what workflows that farmer would apply to. And can you think from your experience, working with this in the trenches, can you think of any department in the county that this wouldn't apply to?
I really can't. Knowing what I know about like how you can set up like approval processes and stages, I think that's very applicable like on a broad spectrum. I mean, the departments that we've used this for is a business license. We've used it for family services. We're working with recorder's office. We've got some forms that we're evaluating for the coroner's office. I mean, it's just broad application altogether.
And then is there anything um, in this process in the last year of working with government frameworks and farmer, is there anything, and it's okay to say it, is there anything that you would change, alter, or were there any regrets at all?
So no regrets. That's a clear message. But there's always things that I think that we're always looking to move the needle forward. So as departments, like we're getting to these updated workflows that are with automated processes, it does spark ideas for them. Well, how can we do it better for the next generation, for the next iteration? So I think there's always room for us to kind of get better. But as actually it was someone from Government Frameworks told us, and I kind of I'll steal it shamelessly, progress over perfection.
Yeah. Yeah. And then your CIO, Bob Leake, he did an interview for a publication that I found, and I shared it uh, with my connections on LinkedIn, and I thought it was pretty accurate. I wanted to get your take. He says, "I buy hot dogs from vendors. I'm looking for partners. Based on Bob's philosophy as CIO of Clark County, would you classify GFW as a vendor or more so a partner?"
They're absolutely a partner, and they help us to be as digital services be like a partner to the departments, because that's ultimately what we're trying to be, and not just the order takers. We want to
Yep.
be part of the process from the beginning. So the what Government Frameworks has done for us is huge, and their process with working with the departments is very much a partnership, and so we've always appreciated that.
Excellent. And then um, could you think and definitely be candid with this answer. Is there anything that a solution or, let's say a vendor that you've leveraged that has added more value for 20, $30,000 investment than the farmer solution?
For that price, no. You're going to pay a lot more for any kind of white glove treatment that we've gotten from government frameworks. You would, you know, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, but like if I had a quote for like twice that, I would still be like, yeah, that was the value is still there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then, and literally just for that one workflow with DFS, would you say, because there was a lot that was involved in developing that and testing it and making it work. Do you feel that DFS has gotten their ROI for 25,000 in solving that workflow challenge that they had?
And the time that we've had it, absolutely, it's already more than paid for itself. Twice, three times over at this point, with the amount of time they're saving, yes, absolutely.
And then one last thing, as we're out at conferences and meeting new folks who don't have maybe never heard of GFW, we've got a big presence in Australia and Canada and whatnot, and not new to the US, but we're making inroads. For those that might be a little dubious, who have heard the catchphrase efficiency and streamlining, and those are just become buzzwords that just kind of roll in one ear and out the other. For those that are hesitant or just think this is just another gimmick, what would you say if you were talking to a city or a county manager or a CIO or a DCIO or an IT director or anyone that was considering adopting Farmer but was just hesitant? What would you say to those people?
I'd say, your people are going to be busy regardless. Would you rather have them be busy pushing paperwork around, or would you rather have them be busy doing the work that's meaningful and impactful to the residents and the customers?
Well, that's really helpful, Mike. I definitely appreciate you investing the time to share your experience with us. Clark County has not only been a great client to have, it's definitely been a door opener for us as we meet new folks, and because everybody knows Las Vegas, and it's been a great experience working with all of you, and just being patient, kind, understanding, and helpful. And yeah, we're really grateful and glad that we have you on board, and certainly grateful that you were able to take time out of your day to record this for us. So really, really appreciate it.